My name is Gardner Cross. You may recognize me from previous appearances here. We're here tonight to talk, basically to present a project kickoff for the interim remedial measure, basically the cleanup of the former Dangman Park manufactured gas plant site. Before I get into the meat of our presentation, we have two elected officials here who would like to address the group. Councilman Chaim Deutsch, first up, and following that, Councilman Mark Traeger. Councilman Deutsch.
Thank you very much. Deja vu, we're back here again. Yeah, and I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Unfortunately, I don't know why this place is not like packed. Some people said they had issues, they didn't receive notifications. But this place really should have been like a full house. You know, when it comes to our waterfront districts, we all know that with all this construction going on all over the place, it's Brighton Beach, Sheepshead Bay areas, you know, we are basically right here in southern Brooklyn. We're strapped in the corner, and God forbid, if there's another Hurricane Sandy, another flood, even a smaller flood, how do we evacuate? It's a problem. How do we get out of here? The only way we can actually get out is if we own a boat. That's the only other way to go. And between the amphitheater, between the city field, and everything else going on, between Coney Island and Brighton Beach, and all this construction, right, we're really pushed here in the corner. And all these high-rise buildings, all these constructions, right here in southern Brooklyn, must stop. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to be having another meeting with city planning, and we're going to be talking about getting these areas downzoned. When you have, as of right, development, there is no approval that anyone needs from city government except from the buildings department. And then you have what's called a ULUP process, when somebody wants to rezone a property, or they want to go higher than they want, or there's a new proposal in the city council called mandatory inclusionary housing, where someone takes a property, developer, and turns it into market rate and affordable housing. They would have to go through the same process, which is called ULUP process, which comes to the city council, and where members of the city council need to vote on those developments. So my discussion, my ongoing discussion, and what my goal is that in certain areas, these waterfront districts, we have to make sure that these areas are not oversaturated. We keep those building structures as low as possible, and we need to improve the quality of life, the quality of living of all. I know that when you go to certain developments, and matter of fact, I'm in West 5th and Neptune Avenue a lot, you hear the pile driving noise, and I was trying to speak to some of the people sitting around Trump Village and across the street at the Met store, and I couldn't even hear myself talk. So I can tell you one thing, that if you have any issues with anything that has to do with anything that's going on with National Grid, with DEC at the Trump Shopping Center, I'm urging you, I'm begging you to contact me and let me know. Let me know what the issues are. I know that there was a problem a small problem with a fire hydrant leaking, and next morning it got resolved. I know there was an issue with the lighting around the Trump Shopping Center, and that issue got resolved. I know there was an issue with going from the Trump Shopping Center to the post office. At a time, you had to climb over a fence. How does a senior citizen climb over a fence to go from the shopping center to the post office? And that, not even slowly, and that got resolved. So I'm urging you, I'm begging you to contact me and to let me know. Don't say, oh, you know, I'll leave it to someone else. I need you to be my eyes and ears in addition to those times that myself and my staff come out here in Brighton Beach. Finally, I just want to say that during this time, the remediation was supposed to begin, but it's going to be, speaking of National Grid DC, is going to begin after Labor Day. This way you can keep your windows open during the summer. You want to keep it open as much as possible. And I just want to tell you, it's going to be after. And I just want to tell you that that at the end of the day, we are going to hold DEC and National Grid highly accountable that anything that is done, whether it's noise pollution, whether it's odor, we're going to hold them accountable, and that's why I need you to reach out to me and let me know when things are not going the way it's supposed to. And finally, I just want to recognize, I have one of my colleagues in government here, where I am, Councilman Mark Trago, who's been a great partner right here in Southern Brooklyn. And we work together, and also have many friends here that I work with throughout the year. I have Ida and Jeff Stanoff, who's also, we collaborate on many of the issues that happens right here in Southern Brooklyn. And Mrs. Sherman with your son Bruce, who are always involved, and so many others here. I'm not going to start naming all the names, but I want to thank you for your collaboration with my office throughout the year, and please continue to do so. So, that being said, I'd like to call upon my colleague, Councilman Mark Trago, to please come up to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you to my colleague, Councilman Deutsch, and I do want to publicly credit him and his office for being very responsive along with mine with regards to the concerns that we had here. So see, we have an attendance from the New York City Comptroller's Office, Harry Kagan. Thank you for being here as well. I think the residents who turned out, I am a little bit concerned about the turnout tonight, but we will certainly keep people informed. I just want to say this. For those of you who know me, I don't mince words. I say exactly what I feel from my heart. And so I believe that we should look to have honest, constructive relationships with those that are looking to do work in our neighborhood and those who are responsible for our environment and our public safety. But having an honest, constructive relationship requires to be honest. And so let me be very blunt. I picked up on the way inside here a fact sheet that some of you might have received as well. And I'm reading, it says here that in the upcoming cleaning activities, these excavations will be performed under a temporary fabric structure which will be equipped with an air capture and treatment system to prevent vapors and odors from escaping into the surrounding neighborhood. I just want to say that already we've received complaints about odors in the neighborhood. We already have sort of a de facto neighborhood watch that has organically emerged in our area. I represent the buildings in Warbass. My colleague has Trump, but the way I approach it, and I think my colleague does as well, we're in this together. I am not going to allow the dividing line of district boundaries, which are ridiculous, to divide the responsibilities of our elected officials to represent everyone in this room. So whether you live in Trump or Warbass or Luna Park or Brightwater, you are welcome in my office. And I'm sure that, yes, I mean, absolutely. So I'm concerned about that already. And I just want to share just a couple of concerns I have with regards to National Grid is aware of my concern, and I'm sure DEC, DEC knows my office's name already. But we want to make sure that everyone knows that there are engaged residents. In addition to our offices, there are people who live directly next to this site. There are people who are senior citizens, people with disabilities, people with asthma, people with very serious health ailments that are extremely vulnerable to the work that's being conducted at this site. This is not your average area in New York State. This is an area that has the highest concentration of senior citizens in all of New York City, right here. So this is not your average, normal MGP site. This is a very fragile, very sensitive area, vulnerable area, more reasons than one. And we have an engaged public that will report these issues. And I want to thank those who have emailed me, including those I see in attendance. We have the president of Warbass here, Mike Silverman. I want to thank him as well. He's been very engaged with the residents of this complex. Those people have emailed me already. Councilman, what's happening here? We see something happening here. And sometimes it's a non-issue, but I encourage people to continue sending those emails to me and to my colleague if necessary as well. But let me just very quickly share the two concerns I have. With National Grid, we have to make sure that the contractors and those people who are doing the physical actual work are being held accountable to do the work in compliance with every single environmental regulation. I keep it real. Some of the contractors who have done work in Coney Island and contracted by National Grid have not done a great job. In particular, I want to call them out, Howland Construction. I get complaints about Howland Construction all throughout Coney Island and even into Seagate. Why? Because when they finish doing some gas pipe work, they leave sidewalks in terrible condition. And people are waiting months, if not longer, for that to be remediated and that to be corrected. And I share that concern with National Grid. They are aware of that. So we have to make sure that the people doing the physical work here are also being held accountable. And I will be very much on top of that issue. With regards to DEC, DEC says, according to this fact sheet, that they are responsible to oversee, it says here, the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation will keep the public informed throughout the cleanup of the site. For those of you who saw us a few weeks ago by Gravesend Bay, when we learned about a 27,000-gallon oil spill, not through our agencies, but through really some activists who stepped up and shared information, who found out about it. It was very disappointing that we didn't hear it directly from the people responsible to keep our waterways safe. So, as I said in the last meeting here, there is a significant trust deficit with our environmental agencies, and it's only getting bigger. Now, DEC is now on top of the issue after the media exposed the fact that we are aware of it, and we're outraged by it. It was a private oil company that did not follow the rules and allowed over 27,000 gallons of oil to spill into a bay where people fish, not just for fun but for food, that they've recovered some of the oil, but they haven't recovered everything else. We need our environmental agencies to be physically and mentally present when this work happens. I don't want to hear that there's a monitor on the site, and then when my office comes down to the site, I don't see anyone around, which has happened on the transfer station site, which is another project in our neighborhood, which is concerning us. So we need to make sure that the people who are responsible to keep us safe are actually there, are present, and doing their job, keeping us safe. I repeat again, this is an extra vulnerable neighborhood. Many seniors, people with disabilities, children, schools, senior centers, you name it, they're here. And you also have elected officials who are very vigilant, very active, and very much on the ground. So I look forward to hearing the presentation today about the work that will be commencing in due time. But I encourage people to continue to contact us. If you see something, say something. If you smell something, say something. Email us, call us, let us know. And our offices will be in touch throughout the entire process as well. Thank you very much for your time. I'm not controlling the meeting. I can't call anyone to speak. Sorry. But Jeff Sanoff is here from Community Board 13.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to acknowledge and thank my colleagues in government, representatives that are here today. It's important that we have as many elected officials and representatives here tonight to listen to what's going on. So first, I'd like to acknowledge Ari Kagan, representing thank as well as Leah Moses representing us from Harris. Again, I just want to reiterate my words and my colleagues' words is that we're out here. Our offices are always available. I don't think anyone has ever had a problem getting through to any of us, so please make sure that you tell your neighbors, because there are a lot of empty seats here. If this was a good movie, everyone would be here. This place would be packed. But, you know, please let your neighbors know that we are here. Give them our phone numbers, this way they can contact us, and this is very important. And finally, let's hear what the BEC has to say. Thank you so much.
Good evening again. I'm still Gardner Cross, just like I was when I first started. Any site that we work on where we have a series of public meetings, we always have a little bit of a quandary at the second and third meeting as how much background information to give. I don't want to bore people to tears, but there may be some people in the audience here who need a little bit of information of what this project's all about. So bear with me for a couple of slides here, and then we'll get into the meat of what we're planning to do. There used to be, back in the late 1800s and early